screen. Give me 1 second here. Hopefully I shared the right screen. Can you guys see Towne Central?
Yes, with
Okay.
Susan Pender in the
Yes,
right
I
hand
can see it.
Perfect. Okay, we are going to use Susan Pender's account today because a couple of things I'm going to show you she has already set up, so it's a good account to use. I'm going to show you today some tools that you have available to you in Towne Central under your listing manager for every single one of your listings. So today I'm working in Towne Central, and all I've done is gone to the listings tab here and clicked on listings. And it brings me to this page. These are all of Susan's active listings right now. If you haven't visited the listings page before, if you scroll down, you will also see your pending listings. You have the same tools for your pending listings as you do for your for sale listings. And then you also have the sold listings. You do have to click this button to show your sold listings only because we don't work with them all the time, so it loads the page a little bit faster if we keep them hidden unless you need them. So if you click that button, it will show all of your sold listings as well. But today we're going to look at the active listings, and I'm going to show you a couple of quick tools that are available to you in here that you can use at any time for your listings. So let me pick one here. I've been working with 3344 Eagle Next Point, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with that one today. In order to get into the tools that you have, you're just going to go ahead and click the MLS number. All right, and this is the listing manager dashboard for a particular listing. Now, for those of you who have been working in Towne Central, both in the websites and in the client managers, if you haven't been in the listing manager before, it works the same way. If you're on a desktop, your menu is on the left-hand side. These are all the different sections and tools that you can use. And then your action items and what you can do with it are going to be on the right. This is very similar to working with clients and again, working with Site Builder with your website. Even though I'm working on a desktop today, Towne Central is completely tablet and mobile friendly. So all of these tools are available to you on your cell phone, on your iPad, whatever you happen to be using. So you can do all of these tools on the fly as well. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that are on the left-hand side. The first thing we're going to start with is flyers, because that's usually the first question we get. If you happen to take a listing on a Friday and you know you're going to have an open house on a Saturday, or you want to send out information immediately, you don't have time for marketing to make you something custom until Monday, it's okay. As long as your information is in the MLS, and that includes your photos, the system is going to bring in all of that information, and you're going to be able to make and send a flyer very quickly. It's very professional, and we have a number of templates available, and this is a great stopgap until you can create something with our marketing department. I'm going to go ahead and click the flyers button over here on the left-hand side. And it's going to bring up all of the different templates that we have available to us. So of course, this isn't the listing that we're looking at right now. This is just showing you an example of what the different layouts look like. But I wanted to note that you can preview any of these. You can edit all of these flyers. You can print them, and you can also send them as an HTML e-card. And I'm going to show you how you can do that really quickly as well. So if I scroll down here, I can see lots and lots of different types of flyers that are available to me. Very modern, some with more photos than others. And you can choose any of these templates that are available to you. Just for today, I'm just going to go ahead and choose this first one here, just because it's nice and simple and it's easy to use. I'm not going to hit preview. It's just going to bring up what the flyer looks like. We're actually going to do that when we hit edit anyway. Preview button will allow you to see what your photos would look like in that flyer. You can edit it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the edit button. And of course, this works exactly the same way, again, as the websites are working with clients. Your action items are here in the middle, and anything you need to do is on the left-hand side. You've got the option to print and send right from here. Once you edit this, you are able to either print it, and it'll bring up a screen to allow you to save a PDF, so you can either print it at home, or you can upload that to ExpressDocs or send that to marketing if you needed to. And you can also send it directly out as an e-card directly from our system. So right now we have this flyer, and these are the actual photos that it's It's pulled in some basic information from the MLS, of course, our public remarks, and it's also started to fill in some basic information here. And it has personalized this with all of the information that's available in the profile on Towne Central. And we do have our equal housing logo and, of course, our disclaimer here at the bottom. So if I want to edit this in any way, again, we're over here on the left-hand side, and we can go to flyer content. You can also change the color. So for those of you who are in the luxury collection, or those of you who may have a distinct color that you want to use, of course, our default is Cabernet, but I wanted to show you how easy it is if you wanted to just make it black. I'm just going to change it to black here. And that color automatically changes it to black. On some of these templates, you have much more color than this one. This one just happens to have a small bar of color, but you saw on some of the templates where you actually have fairly large sections of color. So it might be something you'd want to change. You can also change the photos at any time. So you can click gallery, and it brings in the first 4 photos. They're in the MLS, but that's okay. If you just hit add images, it's actually going to bring up all the images that are in the MLS. So here's all the photos that are uploaded right now. And if you wanted to change any of them out, you could just select which ones you wanted to use and hit add to collection. This will allow you to have access to those photos to change those at any time. All right, so notice it has added those photos to that collection. So it had started out with 4 in a small one, and then it's gone ahead and added some more photos to us. For us. Notice that some of these photos won't work in this format, but that's okay. You can actually go ahead and take them out. Just go back to your gallery. And if you want to take this one out, and maybe this one, we have too many photos in there. Now we can hit save again. It's going to update it for us. There we get that great kitchen view, and we have those, and it's automatically formatted for us. You can also change listing content. So here's where it brought in the paragraph, and it had the pricing information and some basic information. If I click listing content, brings up all the information in an editor. So I could go ahead and take this out. Maybe I don't want to have the MLS number in there for whatever reason. We're just going to go ahead and take it out. Just going to make a small change there. And maybe I don't want PT. Maybe I want point. Maybe when I put it in the MLS, you know, this is the great opportunity to take out things like BR and BA and spell out anything that you might have had to abbreviate. You can go ahead and make this text. As long as it'll fit in the flyer, you can go ahead and add more. You can also change some of your information if you needed to, add some of your designations, add any other information that you needed, and you can go ahead and hit save. So it has gone ahead and changed all that already for me. So I have the option to save this flyer and use it again in the future. I also have the option right now to hit print. So I can print directly from all the edits that I have. So if I hit this print button, we're going to give it just a second to load here. Remember, it's saving all those edits that we made. So it brought up, there's the new PDF, and it has all the changes on it already. Okay. And we can go ahead at this point in time and we can print it if we had a home printer that we needed to use, or we can go ahead and download it, and it's going to go ahead and download a PDF for us. So I can go ahead and download that flyer. And then I can either, again, send that to marketing, I can upload it to Express Docs, I can print it out, I can send that PDF wherever I need to send it to get it printed. But we have a nice professional flyer ready to go. Again, and that was really simple. We hadn't made a lot of edits on here. You can see how much you could edit that and how easy it is. Okay. You could also send this immediately. So maybe you listed this on Friday, you're going to have an open house, you want to send it to all of your contacts in the system. You can hit this send button here. And it's going to allow you to send that flyer to your email contacts that are in Towne Central and your client manager. Oh, don't give me a pop-up block. There we go. All right, so what we've done is we've gone immediately over to the email system. So we've gone into a new email. Notice this is the exact same flyer we just had. Okay. And notice that we have those action items over here again, so we can make changes. So we can have a subject, new listing, open house Saturday. Maybe this is going to my buyer pool that I have. Okay, so that's going to be my subject line. You can change your title text. So right here, it's flyer for this particular property. We can go ahead and, you can make any edits you want to there. We have this subtitle text. That's all the way down here at the bottom. It says, call me if you need anything. You can say something like, looking forward to seeing you this weekend. Okay. Whatever you want to say in these. You can make it as long or as short as you'd like to. Remember, this is an email, so it doesn't have to fit in a flyer format. And then your message text is just going to be that image that we created there. So we can, again, go ahead and save this if we want to use it for later, or we can send it right now. So maybe I want to go ahead and send this to a couple of particular people. I'm going to hit send. It's going to bring up our send box. So in here, we can access all of the clients that are in our client manager. So if I wanted to send this to a particular person, maybe Bob Barker, who's one of my clients, price is right at bigwheel.com. You can send yourself a copy of this email, and you can also send it now if you want to. The other nice thing is you can also send it to groups. So for those of you who've been working with me on Towne Central and you've gone to a couple of my other classes, you know that you can segment your clients into all sorts of different things, spheres, neighborhoods, groups, whatever you want to do. If you happen to have a buyer group or anything else, you can send it to them. In this case, I'm just going to type all, and it actually can send it to all of my clients as well. So anytime you have a group, if you've done segments, you can find your groups down here and you can send it to a group of people instead. Easy enough just to send the email. It's just going to say that it's sending it. Email sent, done. So Bob just got an email from Susan that said that there was a new listing, open house this Saturday on this address, and it looks just like this when it comes in, and of course it's branded at the bottom. So this flyer, the flyer system in Towne Central is pretty comprehensive, and it's really, really easy to use. Probably one of our top tips of today is that we have this available to you at any time. So if you need a quick flyer at 11 o'clock at night and marketing is closed, you know that you can go in and grab one at any time, and it's nice and professional. The other thing I want to talk to you about today is the reports. So if you haven't had a chance to see what the reports look like in Towne Central, we do have a complete seller report available to you that you can send to your sellers. I'll give it just a second to load here. Oh, I hope I'm not going to lose internet in this storm. Okay, good. It's just being slow today. All right. So in Towne Central, we have the ability to have an online seller report that can go out every week to your sellers. It's a great tool, and it's something you can send to your sellers immediately if you haven't signed up one of your listings already. But you should do it as soon as you take the listing, because they can start to get a report every week on this. Super easy. So if Bob was the seller of this particular property, we could actually just put Bob in here. It's going to bring up our client names, and we can go ahead and choose him as our contact. I'm not going to go ahead and do that today. But we also have the ability to customize a subject line, and it's going to ask us how often we want to send this. Do we want to send this every week, 2, 3, 4, every 3 months, or no email updates? You can tell it when you want it to stop the property or stop the report, either when it's pending or when it's sold. In this market, a lot of people have been stopping it when it's pending, only because so many are going through. But in other times, we've stopped them when they're sold. Sometimes clients like to have all the information until it sells. It's up to you. You can also send the email immediately. So for those of you who have active listings that have been listed for a while and you haven't sent this report, you can go ahead and send this email immediately. If you've just taken the listing and it's just hit your system, you may not want to send the email immediately because it may not have enough data to send the people yet. So you may want to let the system organically send it out on the week. So this is what it looks like. So again, it's all branded to you. It has some basic information about the house. You can change this to make it more personalized, put it in your own voice if you'd like to. But it's going to give you some traffic summaries. Show last week, last month, and since listed. It's going to show the number of times it showed up in the search results, the number of times it's actually been viewed. It's going to give some great charts. This is fabulous for when you've maybe done a price change on it. Maybe you uploaded some new photos and you wanted to see the impact of it. This is a great thing to have. Also a great email to send out if you need to have a pricing discussion with your seller. It's going to give you some other basic information. In this case, we have this one set up on radius. It's only going out to a half a mile. You can adjust that if you'd like. Maybe we want to go out 1.5 miles on this particular property. You also don't have to use a radius. So for those of you who do a lot of marketing to very specific areas, I'm thinking about some of the subdivisions that are their own comps, and that's the only thing you can comp them against. You can also do this against a saved search. So if you only want to show properties, for example, in Kiln Creek, or only want to show properties in Allenton, or only want to show properties in Birdneck Point, or only want to show properties in Kingsmill, you can do this against a saved search. We've talked about saved searches in some of my other classes. If you have any questions about how to do a saved search, you can always email us at websupport@bhhstowne.com, and we'll be happy to send you the information on how to create those. So for our market summary, it's going to show us properties that are very similar to this. It's going to show active. It's going to show anything that might have happened in the last week. So this one went from new to active. So of course it's more than 7 days old. It's also going to show us the market summary of sold and give some definitions. So this is a great report because this is bringing in information from lots and lots of different sources. This is bringing in information from our websites, from all the other agent websites. It's bringing information from Zillow. We're working on adding data from some of our other third-party vendors like Paradigm and AdWorks. We're trying to get those in there. So to try to make it as comprehensive as possible. But it is a fantastic report, and it's a great touch point for your sellers, especially if they're hot on communication. All right, the third thing I want to show you today are the QR codes in the landing pages. So QR codes, they went out of style, they're back in style. We're using them a lot, especially in COVID times right now when we need some no contact ways to show people listings. So let me get back to our listing manager here, and I'll get back to Eagle Point, or Eagle Nest, sorry. So I'm on the main page of the listing manager right now for Eagle Nest, and I want to show you this section right here. We're going to talk about this as number 3 and number 4. Okay, so you do have the ability to generate a QR code for this listing. So agents have gone back to using QR codes in postcards. They've gone to using them even in signs outside the property, especially as people don't necessarily want to go in a house right now, or they're still trying to say no contact. We're even seeing QR codes being used creatively on signs inside a property. So for somebody who has gone in to view a listing to say, you know, snap this QR code if you want to remember this house and view these photos later. It's a great way to just do a no contact, quick snap with your cell phone if you need one. We do get requests to create QR codes fairly often, but you have the ability to go ahead and create them and download them automatically. If you need them for something like a postcard, you might want to use large, and it's just going to create that for you. And you can either go ahead and print it, or you can use your other mouse click and you can save the image as the QR code for this property. You can send this QR code to us in marketing, and we can put this on a postcard for you. We can also put this on a flyer for you, or again, if you have us print any type of material where you might want to have a QR code like a flyer or something like that, we can put it on. So you might be asking, where is this going to go? And it's actually going to go to the property website for this listing that's completely branded to the agent, of course. Okay. All right, I want to talk a little bit today about the property websites as well. So you have a couple of listing links here, and you might be asking yourself, what is the difference between all of these different links? So we actually generate a couple of different kinds of links for you to use on your properties and when you're doing specific types of marketing. So I'm going to look at this first one here. We have Susan Pender, SusanPender1.com, and then notice that that's the MLS number. If I click this, it's taking me over to Susan's website with the listing details, and here's the direct access page. There's the URL right there. We use this a lot, of course, when we're doing social media marketing, when we need a link to send out in emails. This, of course, goes right to her website. It has all of her navigation on it. You can get back to more things. You can do other searches, get tools. Of course, this is the website. It's completely branded to her. All of this contact information goes to her. And if you click this, it's going to go back to her main homepage. So this is the pretty standard, what we call the listing detail page, or you might hear us abbreviate it sometimes in marketing as LDP. Okay. So that's the standard one for the first one. I want to show you this next one. So notice that even though it says bhhstowne.com, it's still branded with susanpender.bhhstowne.com/listing details. It's basically the exact same page. The only difference is it's on what we consider our subdomain. So again, all of this information is going to go back to Susan. You're not going to be able to get back to the BHHS Towne Realty from here. It went directly to her website. This is actually behind the scenes, the actual addresses of where we kind of host things for you guys on the website before we put a custom domain on it. This is why we ask you to always to put a custom domain on it, because we always want to make sure that you have the best branding out there. So of course, susanpender.com. Is a lot easier to remember than susanpender.bhhstownerealty.com. Okay, so that's where that link goes, and of course that's where that QR code is going to land. Let me get back here. But if you have not seen this yet, that third link is really important. How many of you have had clients that said, I want a single property website? You know, maybe they interviewed with somebody else, or maybe they've read the top 10 things you should ask your realtor for online. Or maybe you just want to present something to a particular client about, I will give you a personalized website for your listing. Maybe it's something that's a little bit different than the listing detail page that's on your website. You have one, and we build it for you for every single one of your listings. So notice this says 334 Eagle Nest, Virginia Beach.bhhstownerealty.com. If I click that, notice that it looks exactly like the listing detail page, except it's missing the header and it's missing that navigation bar. It is just for this particular listing, but it's still completely branded to the agent. So this is a single property website. So if you have a client who wants something very specific, if you want to present to them in your listing presentation that you have a single property website available to them, that you will create their own website, you can do that. The other thing that we've seen before too is agents who buy a specific domain, maybe 344eaglenest.com. You can always forward that domain directly to this page, and it makes it look like you have created a single website just for this listing. So these are all tools that are available to you all the time. We haven't done anything special. This is automatically created for you just for being a Site Builder subscriber and just for having that listing manager. You have those three options. Okay. So the last thing I want to show you today is how you can do some customized edits on your listings. So the listings that we have on here, this is the public remarks that has been pulled in. And this listing detail page is on every agent website, and of course on all of our corporate websites as well. But you can actually expand this information out if you'd like to. And that expansion will also show on other agents' websites and also on our corporate websites. So I'm going to put the little caveat in here that you can't put something like call me today for an appointment with your phone number on it because it is distributed out to other websites. But you can take a lot more information, maybe all the bullet lists that you have from your flyer, or just expanding on some of the information that might not have fit in public remarks. And you can add that to the listing. And of course, that shows up again on all of our corporate sites and all of our other site builder sites. Makes your house more attractive on more sites. Go back to, again, we're back here on Towne Central and back in my listing manager. I'm back on 3344 Eagle Nest Point. And I'm just going to keep scrolling. And here we are with our listing description. So this can be edited. So if you want to add more information to this, if you want to take out those BR or BA or anything you might have had to abbreviate, if you just want to expand out that information, again, it needs to be essentially unbranded. You can put as much information about the house in here as you'd like, and then hit update listing description. This is going to update on our corporate website. It's going to update on all the other site builder websites. It's going to update on your website. It'll update on all of the listing detail pages and of course that single property page as well. But there's more. You can also add a banner to these listings. So if you want a banner that goes on the first photo that highlights a special feature about the property, you can do that. So we've added a whole bunch of company banners in here. This one happens to be set for waterfront. It's a waterfront listing. But we have lots and lots of different versions in here. This banner actually shows up not only on your website when people are looking through search results. It's a great way to kind of highlight a feature of a home, catch somebody's eye when they're looking at a large selection of search results. Okay. I'm going to leave this one on waterfront for right now. But you can also create your own. So if there's something very specific about this house and it's not in the company banners that are available, you can actually create your own custom banner if you needed to. So you can enter your own listing banner. Maybe this is, a particular subdivision, or you've reduced it by a certain amount. Whatever you want to create, you can actually add that. And you would be able to go ahead and choose it from your dropdown that was created in here. So you can actually create your own custom banners if you'd like to. And we have a number of people who do, especially some of our agents who work in new construction, where you might have a very specific feature that you want to highlight, or maybe to be ready in 30 days. Those are the kind of things we might not have in the company banners, but those are things that are custom. Things like remodeled kitchen, various other things that you might want to do. So these are ways that you can make your listing stand out, not only on your website, but again, all of this goes back to our corporate website. It also goes to all the other site builder agent websites. And this is a great way to make your listing stand out online with a listing banner. And of course, even more information about the listing that's available. So we've covered the top 5 things that are available to you today. We've covered the flyers. We've covered our seller reports. We've covered creating a QR code and how to use them and where they land. We've also covered the different types of listing pages we have, and including that single property website. And we've also covered our listing banners and listing descriptions. All of this is available to you as soon as your listing goes into the MLS and gets pulled into Towne Central. We're running at about 15 to 30 minutes right now on that. And you can go ahead and print out flyers, set up your reports, make your listing stand out even more fairly quickly right after you list it. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute your mic or enter them in the chat. We're monitoring both, and we'll be happy to answer your questions for you. For those of you that are joining that are on a team, there was a question with regards to how to get into the listing manager, and it was by one of our folks that is on a team. You'll need to be logged into the team dashboard in order to see those listings. If you run into a problem with that, just email us at websupport@bhhstowne.com. I don't see any questions or any hands raised. So it looks like we are all set. And our next session starts at 11 a.m. 5 great tools.
Looks like there was a hand raised. Did Barbara have a question?
Yes, I did.
Okay, go for it, Barbara.
Is there a limit to the number of photos you can upload onto the flyer?
It is limited to being aesthetically pleasing. If you tried to put 50 photos onto that flyer that I just had, it would look very bad. It's going to try to do it for you, but it won't accomplish it. So there are flyer options if you have a lot of photos, and I understand that some people do. This is probably your best bet. Yep. There's one that has a lot more photos on here. I've also seen agents do a combination of the two. So you may want to do something like this as the front, and then create a back, and then send them both into Express Docs to be printed front and back as a flyer.
Can we also do brochures from this?
You can't. So right now, this system is limited to flyers. We don't have a brochure option on here yet.
Okay. And that is mainly so that you can quickly create and print something that's ready to go. The brochures will require a larger sheet of paper that most people won't normally have, that sort of thing. So this is really just geared towards being able to grab and go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? All right, then we will conclude this session, 5 great tools to marketing your listings, and we'll see you on the next one, 5 great tools to market yourselves. See you at 11.